Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how I made this card. So you've got a belly band that you slide off and then you open it up and you pull this flap down and you have a keyboard, a pop-up keyboard card. Now I've actually, when I did the video I didn't add this black bit on, but I've added this since. I just think it added a little bit extra. But it stands up obviously like that, and then you've got your keys on it. And you've got a little flap here so you can write your message in there. Yeah, and so it's not too difficult to do. It's sort of based on the Gatefold Stacked Pop-Up Box card that I made, the video for that I did a few weeks ago. So it's based on that. So yeah, so let's get into it. Right, so to make this card you're going to need a card base that is 6 by 12. And all you're going to do is you're going to score it at 3 inches and at 9 inches to make yourself a gatefold card. Okay, so just make sure you've got a gatefold card. And then what you're going to need is 2 pieces of black card. I've actually embossed mine with musical notes on it. And these measure 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we're going to stick them down on the sides. And then you also need 1 piece that's 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Again, I've used black and I've embossed it. And that's going to go in the middle. And I used this Musical Notes by Crafts 2. This embossing folder is what I used for that. Right, so we're going to go ahead now and stick these down. Right, so when you've done that, you should end up with that, basically a gatefold card. You've got musical notes. You also need the same size panels, so 5 3/4 by 2 3/4, to go on the outside. I'm using a gold, black and gold shiny. I'm not sure where it was given to me, so I'm not sure who made this. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and stick those on the outside. Okay, so there we have the outside and obviously the inside. So now what we're going to need to do is make the keyboard part. So what you need for this, you also obviously need a greeting. That's going to go at the top here, inside. Now you'll also, and I've stacked the die cuts on here just to make it stand out, but also obviously so he can feel it, and you know it's more tactile. Right, so you're going to need a sheet of card. This is when you're going to need your scoreboard. So you need a piece of white card, and this white card measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And you're just going to start by scoring along the 5 1/2 inch side, and you're going to score every 1/2 inch. So you score 1/2 inch, 1 inch. I'll go through it again. So you're going to score 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2 inches, 2 inches, 2 1/2 inches, 3 inches, 3 1/2 inches, 4 inches, 4 1/2 inches, 5 inches. So that will make up your keys, so then you can feel them obviously, and also you can see them. Then you need to turn your card round and you're going to score at 1 inch, and you're going to score at 4 inches, at 5 inches, and at 8 inches. Okay, now what you need to do now is you're not going to fold along all those 1/2 inch score lines. You're not going to fold along those. You're only going to fold along the ones you've just done. So you're going to fold along that little tab that you just did at the 8 inch. Give it a bit of a burnish, and then you're going to fold at the next one, and basically all the ones along. Just be careful when you're scoring, and obviously you're giving it a good burnish. You don't squash all the score lines out going the other way. So I'm just going to do that, and then what should happen is that will come round and form like a box. Okay, so we're going to add some red tape to that tiny little tab, that 1/4 inch tab, and then we're going to stick this together, but we're going to make sure we stick it flat. Okay, so I'm going to put this away for a second. We will need this in a minute, okay, but I'll come back to that. So let's get the red tape, and we're going to put red tape along that flap. Now we need to work out where on the card, how we want it to fold. Now I would like it to come out like that, which means my tab's at the bottom here, that's like that. So in which case it needs to fold that way. It needs to fold like that. So because it needs to fold like that, that's how I'm going to stick it. So I'm just going to peel off the backing here. And then I'm just going to stick this down like that. And that's how it's going to fold. Now, the other thing I'm going to do now, while I know what I'm doing, because basically what's going to happen is it's going to drop down like that. So what we need to do is this bit here is the bit we're going to stick to the card. So I'm just going to go ahead, put a pencil mark on there, just so I don't forget. And I'm going to now go and put some red tape on it. Now because you've embossed the back of your card, you are really going to need red tape. You really, or a strong adhesive. If you've got wet glue, you can use a wet glue, but you do need a strong adhesive because it's a 3D item. You do need something that's strong. Right, we're going to stick this in now. So you want to take your card, now it folds flat like that, so you want to take the tape off and then stick it down, and this is going to line up with the bottom of your card like that, and then that will then drop down to be the piano. Okay, so we're going to take the backing off and we're going to go ahead and stick that down. And make sure that this crease line here, this fold line, does not go over the bottom of your card, because otherwise it won't open. If you want to do it slightly above, like you could do it where the bottom of the black liner is, that would probably be fine. In fact, I think I might do that. And get it central left and right. It's not quite central, but it's almost there. So that's that, and then obviously that drops down. So when it's upright, you can see it stands out. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm just going to put that over there for a second, is you need to cut out, now there's two ways of doing this. You can either cut out a piece of black card that is 3 inches by 5.5 inches and just score it all and then cut it up into strips, or you can cut the strips up separately and score each of them. It's easier to cut a big piece and then score it and then cut it into strips, I would say, but it's really up to you. So what you need is, and I've already cut my strips, what you need is a piece that's 3 inches by 5.5 inches. Now along the 5.5 inch edge, so imagine this is 3 inches wide, well yeah, tall, along the 5.5 inch edge you're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 2.5 inches, at 3 inches and at 5 inches. Okay, now obviously you do that on a bigger piece. Then what you want to do is you then want to cut along the shorter edge, along the 3 inch edge, every 3/8 of an inch. So you're going to cut it, you're going to cut that strip into 8 pieces that are 3/8 of an inch wide. Okay, so once you've done that, you're then going to take a little bit of red tape and you're going to take your strips that you've got, you should have 8 of them, and you're just going to start folding all of the fold lines all the same way. Okay, like that. Now again, these are going to be in the card flat. They're going to pop up, but they're going to be flat. So you want to work out, so what I tend to do is I've got, obviously you've got like, if you think, you've got like a little 1/2 inch piece, and then you've got 2 bits going up and then 2 little 1/2 inch pieces there. So what I tend to do is just squish it to one side on here, so then one piece is slightly shorter than the other. And then what you need to do is this bit that's too long, you've got this piece that's short, if you can see that, this bit's too long, fold that in, and that's where you're going to put the tape, and you're going to just stick them flat like that. Okay, so we're going to cut a piece of red tape. I'm going to put it on that tiny little flap there. And then we're just going to shut the key on top. Oops. Like that. So you want to do that with all 8 strips. Now the other thing as well that I'm going to do, so I know what I'm doing later on, is I'm just going to do a, because that's, I've just shut that flat, that's going to go in. So I'm going to be putting red tape on this bottom bit, and I'm going to be putting red tape on that little 1/2 inch. So I've just made a little mark. You can't really see because it's black, it's difficult. You've got the long piece here, then that's the tab, and I've just done a little cross on there. And then if you flip it over, the next panel along, so this big panel here, I've put a cross on there as well, and then that's a 1/2 inch, because I'm going to put tape there and there, so that when it sticks in here, you're going to have this bit actually on the keyboard stuck down. And then the short piece is going to be stuck to the back. So we're now going to go ahead and put our tape on here. Now I don't have tape that's wide enough, so I'm going to go for slightly skinnier tape than I need, because I think it'll be fine, because it's red tape. You can use wet glue actually. I think I'm going to go with red tape. So you're going to put a bit on there, and you're going to put a bit on there. And you're going to do that with all of your strips. So now you've put tape on all your pieces, what you want to do is I would take your card, and on the top of your card, on the keyboard, I don't know if you can see, I've actually marked a little pencil dot where I'm going to put the black keys. So obviously have a look up and see, if you don't know, where the black keys are supposed to go on a keyboard, have a quick look and just double check. And so I've done that, so I've put a little mark on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the black key, and obviously it's going to be stuck like that and then stuck like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backing off that long piece and off the back at the same time. So there's the long piece, and take it off the little short piece as well. And then with the short piece facing up and the sticky long bit facing down, I'm then going to stick this, and I'm going to hold it up like this, and I'm going to get it right into that corner. So I want it to go right in, and you also want to get it straight. And then I'm just going to fold the whole thing back and press down, and then that gives you your first note, your first black key. So I'm going to keep doing that now with the others. I'm going to do the same thing all over again. I'm going to stick that down to the keyboard first, and then stick it onto the card, fold it flat up to the card. Right, so as you can see, I've stuck the keys on. So there we go, that's done. And then the whole thing folds up and folds flat to go inside there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the happy birthday on, and that's just going to go there like that. And I'm actually going to make that so that I'm going to mount that so that it ends up being a card so that the person can write inside. Right, so I've just mounted that greeting onto just a little card that I've made. So I'm now going to go ahead and stick that into the back of the card. So there we have our card. So when it stands up, you have a little keyboard and happy birthday, and obviously you can write the message in there, and then you can then fold the whole thing up like that. And then what we'll do is we'll just put probably a belly band around it, or maybe a ribbon, just so it stays shut with a greeting on it. And that's how you do it, basically. That's the card. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll have a go yourself. And I'll see you again next time.